Bless you, brothers and sisters. We're the brothers from Gathering of Christ Church, and we're going to bring out some key information on a religion that have really taken our people. We're going to do a teaching on Islam, okay? And this teaching will give you a true origin and give you the history of Islam, okay? And then after you know the true origin and history, you can decide for yourself if this is something that you would like to follow. Some of our people here in America follow Islam without understanding its origin. So we thought that we would use these books and some information and some biblical proof so that you'll know the origin yourself, so you can go into the history, go into the understanding to know exactly what you're following. Usually when someone introduces something to you, you only get the highlights. You get the good things about it and what it does for a person and all those things, but you don't know what spirit is behind that particular religion. So what we're going to do today is give you the history of it so you can understand it, where it's from, what they worship, who they worship. Where do the name Allah really come from, and who is Allah? You're going to find out this evening. Okay? Now, the first book I want to show you all is a Time Life booklet. Okay? Time Life booklet. The World's Great Religions. All right. And I'm going here, and I went through the book last night, and it piqued my interest because I noticed that the Gentiles, which are non-Israelites, are the people primarily over all religion. And it made me question, and maybe you would ask yourself this question. Why is it that all the religions of the earth that we as a people, especially the poor people, we look up to these religions and respect them, but yet we don't have an origin or a relative related to any of them? When I look at the Catholicism, I can see the Europeans are behind Catholicism. When I see Islam, when I see Islam, I notice that there's Arabs behind Islam, and they're the forerunners of Islam. Even when you see Judaism, which I know Judaism have nothing to do with the Bible, but Judaism, the forerunners of what you call Judaism today, is Caucasian Europeans. Buddhism, they're Asians. So what is the origin of the blacks and Hispanics religion? What did they start? Were they following anything? Because usually the people without an identity I've just mentioned follow one of these religions that have been promoted by Gentile governments and powers. Why? We'll show you that too. I'm looking through this book and I'm like, okay, I see the East Indians got their thing. The Persians have their thing. The Catholics have their thing. And everyone have their thing. But let's get back to the topic, Islam. Islam was introduced really to the Americas, to the black people in America. It became real big during the civil rights struggle, 50s and 60s, when Elijah Muhammad really introduced it as a black man's religion. And some people don't know that Elijah Muhammad himself learned from a Caucasian named Fard Muhammad, who studied Islam. He was a Caucasian. Now, you cannot say that we cannot pinpoint race and religion when all the races have started a religion and have our people following it. We have to identify that. Because that's part of us being the lost sheep. We don't understand our origin. And we're scattered in all these Gentile religions. So let me get right to it. Give you the understanding. I'm just showing this because I'm running through some of these pages. And it's really it's getting me a little perplexed, because I'm looking at all these religions and I'm like, where are we? Who are we? Where do we belong? I'm seeing all these other nations with the spiritual origin. Who are we? Why we cannot find any spiritual significance within ourselves? We have to go to an Asian to find spirituality, or a European religion to find spirituality, or an Arab religion to find spirituality. And no one asked why. You mean to tell me there was no spiritual people amongst us, amongst our people? We didn't have an origin? That's what they're telling us. That's what they're telling us. Okay? History tells us that we don't belong. We have nothing. We have no heritage. Could it be that we are the lost sheep? We'll show that too for those that haven't followed us in the past. Well, let me give you the origin of Islam. There have been some significant findings within the past 24 hours. Some significant findings. Here we go. When I look at Islam, this is what I see. This is what I see. This is what we all see. Let me show you. We see the world of Islam. You see people worshiping. All over the place in Mecca, right? All over the Middle East. We see them holding up holy hands, as they call it. Let's see if I can get this here. See them raising their hands there, right? Malcolm X was told that Islam was a religion for black people until he went over Mecca and found otherwise. It really threw him for a loop, believe it or not. He thought he was going to go over Mecca and see a bunch of black people, because he was told by Elijah Muhammad that Islam is the black man's religion. It was meticulous and calculated. Elijah Muhammad came at a time. He came at a time when the black people in America was revolting against the Judeo-Christian Western society. It was a perfect time for him to introduce a new religion, because we were tired of these people, or the European factions of this earth and the government telling us that we're all equal and Christ loves everyone, but yet you're sicking dogs on me. You've enslaved me. You're not giving me equality. I have to go down around the alley to get my food. I have to watch my children. You may kidnap my children and rape my children. So we were tired of saying, of hearing about a Christ, but yet people was not treating us Christ-like. Okay? We couldn't relate to anything Christian-like based on our, the way we were being treated. So here come Elijah Muhammad to introduce a new way, a way to revolt against the status quo. Islam. Okay? They can prove that Christ was a black man and not be a white man. So that was a way to tear down alive Christianity and make the pro-blacks go into a religion of Islam or a new nation of Islam. Okay? The other thing they did was they introduced their prophet, which is Muhammad, above Christ, and say that Christ was just a prophet. They was able to do this at this time because black people during the 50s and 60s who were fed up with the system related the white Jesus you see portrayed all over the earth with the Bible. So when they seen that image, they seen the same guy that was sicking dogs on them, burning crosses in front of their houses. So they say, if that's the Christ, I'm going to put it down all together, including I'm going to put down the book that promotes that murderer. So I can see why our people at that time started flocking to that as a form of revolution. But do that mean that religion was right for us? Do it mean that was right for us? I can understand it. But does that mean the religion was right? We'll see. Islam. Now I see these little kids in Africa who are learning to recite the Quran and to learn Islam. Most Africans, when they come over to the Americas, a lot of them are Muslims. And they've been taught through generations this is their way of life, even in West Africa. But a lot of these Africans, or Israelites, that's who they are from West Africa, that come over here converted, don't realize that they have dealt with the same conquest and murder we have dealt with. Just a different religion. The Arabs did to them what the Western world did to us. So let's give you some information on Islam. Who is the prophet that you must acknowledge as the prophet of Allah? And you know what? Who? Muhammad. Muhammad. Yes, sir. Muhammad. Good. Good answer. You're right. Now that I've examined it and have went into this, we realize that Muhammad is the prophet of Allah. He is. He's the prophet of Allah. Good question. Who is Allah? Okay. We're going to show you. First of all, we're the Hebrews. Let me put it out there, in case we can't get it all out within this hour. We're the Hebrews. We're the children of Israel written up in the Bible. Okay, we've been hidden. Our heritage have been taken from us. Give me Jeremiah 17. Our heritage have been taken from us.